Hi Dan,
Hi,
welcome to Essen,
thank you.
welcome to Zeche Zollverein and welcome to Red Dot Design Museum, which is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful, most exciting places here in North Rhine-Westphalia.
Yes, it is. I must say I'm quite impressed with the place. I see it for the first time, and it's quite overwhelming. Like all the details. It's a building that had an industrial function for a long time. No, it was for the processing the coal or the.
Yeah, the whole, there has been a coal mine here, one of the biggest coal mines in Europe, until 1986, and then slow by slow it was transformed into a, what we call Industriekultur, a place where we have a choreography center, we have museums, we have parts of the Volkswagen University, and this museum here has been founded in 1954 by the press responsible from the Krupp, and it has been traveling through different locations, and now it's finally here in this building, in this industrial building, which has been redesigned by the famous architect Sir Norman Foster. So
it looks wonderful, I must say. In every corner I look, it's a very special angle. It's very well designed for all this display, and the way it melts together with the old part of the building, it's really a nice achievement, I would say.
It's a beautiful balance between the objects and the architecture, so there's always new perspectives. It's really wonderful.
I agree.
So we want to talk about your artwork as a choreographer, as a dancer. So,
sure.
Dan, tell me something about you.
My name is Datcu. I am originally from Romania. I do choreograph and I am a dancer as well. I've been choreographing for the past 10 years. And yeah, it's one of the things I like to do best at the moment, and I'm enjoying it very much.
So, have you been choreographing and producing creations with the company you're actually working in, or?
Yes, so I'm currently engaged with Mecklenburgische Staatstheater in Schwerin. And also there I did a series of small work occasionally for different occasions like gala performances or young choreographers. Like this is normally the way to start a choreography career for most people that do dance. You start experimenting in the young choreographers program. No, we all know this. But I was also asked to do works for bigger companies. I did 2 works for the National Theatre in Brno. I was approached by the director there.
This is Czech Republic, isn't it?
It is in Czech Republic, exactly. I also was approached by the director of the Slovenian National Theatre, by the Opera House there. I did the full-length piece. I did Tristan and Isolde for them. It's funny, the director approached me after seeing my work in a competition in Belgrade, Serbia, and she really enjoyed my work. So after that, she approached me for a full-length piece. It was a really nice moment for me, I must say. And now I will restage one of my works for the company where I work at the moment, the Mecklenburgische Staatstheater. The piece is called Obliviously Aware.
That's very interesting. So, how does the title Obliviously Aware refer to the content? Give us some.
I think the title is a very important element through which one can figure out a little bit about the piece. No, it's very paradoxical, obliviously aware. The title explains a little bit the piece in the way in which the idea of the piece is the way we perceive beauty and what affects our judgment on that. And I think society today has a tendency of pushing towards a state of oblivious, and we start to ignore the things that are important to us as human beings. So obliviously aware. We are oblivious, but we are aware at the same time. So I would say, like, you are aware of many things that are happening and they are not good in the world, but at the same time we tend to ignore them day by day.
Like all these environmental issues.
Absolutely, it applies. This rule applies to many things, and I think maybe it has to do a little bit with the problems that our society has at the moment. So I would like to talk about it, but from the approach of, for example, the fashion world, and also beauty itself. What affects our beauty perception? What do we think is beautiful? It's always kind of influenced from outside. If you start to think about what is a beautiful model or female body looking like, no? We have at the moment it's all this very skinny body culture that can lead to immense disorders, and yeah, we still push forward that, and now it's more discussed. In the past years, it's much more discussed what this approach can do to people that everyday people, normal pedestrian, they see that and then they assimilate it. So yeah, our image for beauty can be very much influenced or manipulated, and we know that, but we are oblivious of it. And still we follow that trend. Yeah, it's a thing that can apply for many things. The piece itself starts in this world of aesthetic, of a superficial aesthetic, and then it has towards the center of the piece a moment where it ruptures, when the individual, the three girls, the three protagonists of the piece, realize or they have a crush, a psychological crush inside, when it's a sort of exhaustion, that they cannot, it feels like they cannot go on because this doesn't work with their humanity, probably, you know. And then the second half of the piece develops into more soul-searching from the characters and research of what they really need and what truly is inner beauty or humanity itself without the extra thing that humans create. No, so that's a little bit about the piece. The music is also split in two halves as well. It starts with a very energetic electronic music composed by Adam Soika, which is a contemporary music composer. And then in the second part, it releases into a piano concerto by Philip Glass. It's the second movement. Yeah, everybody enjoys a little bit of Glass, especially for dance, no? It's a great platform for dance, I think. And yeah, the Tyrol piano concerto, the second movement, it's very beautiful music, minimalistic music. I'm a big fan of minimalistic music for dance because it, as I said before, it gives a very nice platform where the music supports the dance and doesn't so much take the lead. I think that's what makes minimalistic music so great for dance.
But it's also quite challenging, I mean, if you count, because there's always all these repetitions, little changes, and you really have to count on it. I mean,
we have to do some work as well, no? We can't. we have to. So that's pretty much a little bit about the piece. I talk about normally I choose my topics relating to the world of today. I like to go there to question or to tell, challenge situations that I see in society or that are happening. At the moment, I think us as artists, we have that duty to look around us and then always question. And
to see the society context in 2020. I mean,
it should
you
be.
cannot ignore what's going on in the world as an artist.
We can't really, and I think even if you perform classical ballet, like which is older form of dance, you still need to have that awareness. You cannot perform it like it was performed 30 years ago or 100 years ago. You have to perform it as it is today. It should be at the level of today with all that is around, with all the context.
So Dan, did you know that there are so many different bathtubs, so many different styles, and so many...
They look wonderful, I must say. It's really impressive.
What I really like about this Red Dot Museum is that you find quite a few objects you know from your daily life, which is like some kind of coffee machines or kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff.
Vacuum cleaner.
Yes. So, talking about style, I would like to ask you, how do you see your creations in the balance between classical acting ballet and modern contemporary movements, different styles of choreography? Where's your position?
Where's okay, so I will start by telling you a little bit of my dance career and my education. I was fully classically educated in dance in my city where I'm born, in Constanța, Romania, and then I finished my education in the capital city of Bucharest, and then I joined the Vienna State Opera at 18 years old. I think I had my first engagement in Vienna, and why I'm saying this is that I want to say that I have a very classical upbringing, but after that I worked in different companies and I worked with different choreographers and I've seen different artists everywhere. So I started with neoclassical dancer, modern, and then also dive a little bit into contemporary dance, dance theater, and the occasional. I would say, like, what I do, it's a mix of all these things. It's a personal fusion, I would call that. What represents me, I normally like very grounded things and very rich, generous dynamics in movement. But I think in what I do, you can find a little bit of everything, and I think every choreographer, it's a big mix of what they have learned, experience, of the time that has passed by there. Also their personal experience is changing. Like if you have a trauma or something like this, will always make you develop your own way of language, of communicating what you want to communicate with the choreography.
Romania is known as a country of a very rich folkloristic tradition.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Does this tradition have any, I mean, for you being born and raised in Constanța in Romania, does this have an influence to your creation, to your work?
Absolutely, I think so very much. I think that's part of who I am. It's these are roots. They are my. I think the first time you come in contact with singing, with dancing, it's in also in an ethnical concept. It can be or environment. And yeah, they are a big part of who I am, and therefore they are a big part of what I do. especially because we love dance. We have beautiful folklore dances, and the music is very jolly. It's very so the culture we have. It's pushed towards dance, towards music, towards artistical expression, and yeah, as I said before, it takes a big part of who I am as an artist for sure. Yeah.
You make me really want to go to Constanza.
Yeah, and to see it.
Yeah,
To
definitely.
see what's going on. You should try.
Yeah.
You should try.
Being in this amazing space, in this Red Dot Museum, I'm getting hungry to see all these kitchen machines. I'm dying for a coffee, but well, we are not here to talk about coffee.
No, not at all. But what I must say, the display is quite amazing. It looks everything very well taken care in detail and polished from the design point of view. It's really
Yeah, it's this amazing.
quite sharp.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's so amazing to be beautiful and follow a very nice function. So, well.
Absolutely, I think that's a challenge of design, of like home design in general. No?
Yeah.
To melt these two things together, the design and functionality.
Yeah. This is what surrounds us every day, and well, which can be beautiful as well. So, what surrounds you every day is dance, and we still talk about dance.
Yeah.
I would like to know if there's a contradiction between entertainment and the emotional moment I feel as an audience, and the intellectual approach. So, can dance be beautiful, intellectual, and entertaining at the same time?
I think dance, yeah, can be all of these things together, and I think that would be the job of a dance piece. A dance work would be to that you could find beauty in it, that it would be at some level entertaining as well, and that it has a big intellectual part to it. That I think are criteria that should be there in a successful dance performance.
These moments when the show or when the performance ends and you feel like, no, please don't end, please continue, and still you have big thoughts in your mind coming out of the theater.
That's a lovely experience you can have in the theater, and I think that's the job of every choreographer, dance maker, or director to go in there and get in your sensibility, get in your mind, and tell you a story and make you react to it and make you ask yourself questions and feel a lot.
Yeah.
It's a really positive sign, I think, when you're in any kind of performance venue or you face any kind of art object that you get a lot from it, and it's an experience. Yeah, that should be like that.
So we have today this amazing opportunity to shoot our interview in this Red Dot Design Museum, and there is an idea behind, because there's quite a connection between us being here in this Industrial Design Museum and you performing your new piece in Schwerin. So tell us, where will you show your performance?
Right, so I think the connection is that the connection we wanted to make, these two parallels, is that we are in ex-industrial space with industrial function that was transformed into a cultural building, I would say, a bit of an institution that has a cultural function. And the piece that we talked about earlier, Obliviously Aware, will be performed in Evek, which used to be the old powerhouse of the city. Mm-hmm. It's, I think, design-wise, the approach is very similar, and there is a rawness to the building, just like here. and the old powerhouse was attached to the theater. The building belongs now to the theater institution, and again, it has a new function now. It has a cultural function, and we perform there quite gladly. And I think the piece will fit very well. That I personally I very much enjoy places like that already have a history, and they are given a new life. I think it's a good initiative to do that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's quite important to have a relationship between what you perform and where you perform. I mean, maybe you wouldn't do a swan lake and then, oh, well, maybe it would be also interesting to do a swan.
Yeah, it could be quite pretty, the contrast in between something very industrial and raw and something so controlled and so neat like classical ballet. That could be a nice ballet.
So Dan, in this museum you have a lot of wonderful perspectives and wonderful views and sights. And here in this place we have wonderful light. So how important? Yeah, really, it's like being on stage, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think light is very important in general. Of course, we are in a museum, and the light is for empathizing or for emphasizing the color, the structure, the texture of something. No? But in theater, that we speak about theater, in the theater, it's highly important, I think. And normally, like when I work on a piece, the light works as an entity by itself, and it takes sort of a place as a character. I love light design very, very, very much, and I think it's highly important, and it can build or break a piece for sure. I love that.
So, do you work together with the light designers from the Landestheater, or?
I did work on one piece, I think, with a light designer. I learned a lot. It was a very good light designer, I would say, a very interesting artist, willing to experiment. And since then, I kind of learned how to make lights, and I always experiment and try all kinds of different things with light to get new results, actually.
So let's talk about style and inspiration. I mean, you have all these different styles and streams in dance, and how do you position yourself between the traditional act ballet, as we know, Swan Lake, Nutcracker, Sleeping Beauty, and modern, contemporary productions, new language of movement?
All right, so I set myself, I was classically educated, classically brought up. I worked in classical companies as well, and I worked also in companies that were neoclassical based repertoire, and I also worked with people that were doing dance theater. I worked also with people that were contemporary theater. So I had the possibility and the joy to experience a little bit of everything in my dancing career. When it comes to choreography, now I've been choreographing for the past 10 years, I think, or experimenting with it, no, because I'm just at the beginning and I'm still dancing, so it takes a long time for a choreographer to really establish himself. When it comes to choreography, I would say the way I do things, it's a blend in between things that I have experienced, things that I like, things that I think it's a way forward for it, like conceptually, why movement, where it should start, what it should say. So I think probably every choreographer has a background and an artistical sensibility, and that amount of things put together, the whole represents their individual style, I think. So in my work, I think you see a bit of a lot of elements, but I try to stay true to myself regarding the way I would present an idea or a movement or to have my own personal line. I think it's very important to stay true to yourself and don't lose yourself too much in a movement trend, or don't lose yourself too much in your mentors or people that inspire you. So there has to be a continuous research of one's individuality, I think, and rediscovering, okay, what I am right now in this moment, because yesterday I did this other work, and now it's different. It's the now, so it's not the past. And I think it's also important to think a little bit about the future, how you see yourself in the future, to visualize a little bit. Of course, it's not going to happen as you expect it to happen. It's always very, very different. But these are things that are always working, and we have to. I think we have to keep on active in the head now, and things will develop by themselves at some point.
I'm really curious about the process of developing a creation. Does the development end with the first rehearsal, or is it a continuous work in dialogue with the dancers, with the performers?
I think both. I think, or personally, I guess people work differently. Personally, I'm quite happy when the artist, the performers, they are very well informed of what my plans are, that they can find it themselves, within themselves, because I can give an idea or a concept, but they cannot reproduce what I think or what I feel. So
it's personalities. It's not ballet machines, dance machines. It's personal. It's human beings and personalities.
Absolutely, we have to relate to ourselves in order to. Of course, I direct the bigger thing, and it's my vision at the end. But I think the role of the performance that is in tune with the choreographer, director, or whatever is there bringing forward the project, it's highly important. And of course, then comes on top the rehearsing process, the polishing. That is, it's crucial also.
It's work, yes.
It's work, and I think a well-developed project and a well-questioned project would be the perfect canvas to show your artistical individuality, probably. No, this is very important.
Now I'm really very curious and hardly looking forward to see your piece and to be with you in Schwerin for the rehearsals and well, maybe to film a little bit. And
that will be lovely.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to have you there also.
Thank you.
That you have the life experience of what we talk about, and I would like to question you also if I am in tune with what I produce.
Yeah.
Like that would be interesting, our discussion afterwards.
So for ending, I'm asking you, what are your wishes for the future as an artist?
Wow. My wishes as an artist, I think that what every artist is wishing for, that they find the magic formula, that they can channel their artistical capacity at their best, and that the research and the struggle and the wishing and the wanting of delivering work, it comes together, and then they are delivering quality work that hopefully will stand the time. And I personally think that delivering something of quality will survive time, and so it's that would be the wish to find a way to channel and to be understood at a high level, I would say.
Okay, so I'm wishing you all the best, and I suggest
Thank you.
that the two of us, we take the chance now to continue our visit in this wonderful museum. And I think we should go that way. Shall we?
Absolutely, yeah.
Come on.
I follow you.